Alright, 2024 AMC 8, question 6. Let's take a look. Sergey skated around an ice rink, gliding along different paths. The gray lines in the figures below show four of the paths, labeled P, Q, R, S. What is the sorted order of the four paths from shortest to longest? Firstly, I do want to see it's better if this question has a slightly more clear picture on the grid path, but hopefully you can see it clearly. Those are the four paths. For path P, it's basically going along the edge of this region. Path Q is like this zigzagging one. Path R consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 segments, no circle. And path S doesn't have zigzag, but it has an X in between. Now you need to figure out the shortest to longest. And since we don't have any numbers, for this question, the strategy is generally going to be a pairwise comparison. Which means you take two of them, you compare them, and then you can figure out who is longer, who is shorter, and continue on until you can sort everything out. When you do this kind of pairwise comparison, usually you want to find one that has a lot of overlapping with other figures or with other options. So it's easier for you to do this comparison. And for this picture, if you look at PQRS, which one has some common overlapping area with each of the other choices? I would say it's a P. So the high-level strategy is going to be, I'm going to take path P, compare with each other option, get a sense of how the order looks like, and see what else I need to compare with. All right, let's look at path P versus path Q. So if you look at P and Q, you will find the circle part is common. So what you are trying to compare here is going to be two straight lines versus this zigzagging. And in that sense, Q should be longer than P. Why? Because if you take a look at it, you'll find for P, it has a straight line, and for Q, the corresponding part is actually two lines. And between 2 points, the shortest distance is going to be the straight line. All right, with a very similar methodology, if you compare P and S, you can also see the circle part is the same. So in this case, you're comparing two straight lines versus this X. And for this one, what you will need to remember or recall is going to be, if you have a right triangle, the hypotenuse is going to be the longest. So in this case, P is also less than S. Now compare P and R. P and R, the overlapping region is different. For P and R, it's actually those two straight lines that is common. So what are you going to compare with is going to be, so P versus R, what you're trying to compare with is going to be a circle or half circle versus two lines. And for this, P would be longer. Why? Because of the same reason. If I pick point A and point B, between AB is a straight line from R, but it's an arc from P. Straight line is the shortest. And same thing for BC. So P versus R, you will have R is less than P. And this is why picking P is useful, because now I know which one is the shortest one. Shortest one got to be R, and then you have P, and then you just need to figure out S versus Q. And by the way, I do want to point out, from solving this question perspective, we're actually done, because look at A, B, C, D, E, only D has R, P. So the answer got to be D. But let's still continue on to confirm S is shorter than Q. So for S versus Q, what you're comparing is this X versus Z zigzagging, which is like you have 2 points here, dash line, and this one. Again, let's try to simplify it when possible. So actually, if you only take half of it, right? I only want to take this to compare with this. And if you take half of that, you can see one is like this, and the other one is just a straight line. And for this one, you can find it's actually S is shorter than Q. So that confirms the answer is D. So for this question, the key problem solving strategy is pairwise comparison. Compare each two of them, remove the common region so that you can make a decision. And when you pick the core member to do the comparison, you want to find out the member which has a lot of overlapping with each option.